Welcome. I just want to take a few minutes to explain the rate calculator. We've had this in place now since February of 2019. It's been a fantastic tool that allows us to price the business more competitively. So I just want to maybe touch on some of the pieces here. So this will be a rate calculator printout that we'll have, very typical. You'll see all the drop-down boxes there. Those are just answers to each one of those fields. So for example, we'll have the client name, we'll have the term that's been selected. So that could be a 5-year close, it could be a 3-year closed, variable. Don't see too many variables, but that'll come back one day soon. Credit score is going to be 3 choices. So it'll be 780, 700 to 779, and then less than 700. What that's going to have is an impact on how we're going to price. If you've probably guessed, the higher the credit score, the better the pricing. We have to be more competitive because your options are probably more than somebody who doesn't have good credit. Okay, the closing date, which is the next one on here, you'll see I've put in as March 1st, so that's going to be arbitrary. Depending on what your purchase date is, we're going to fill that in. The quicker the timeline to us closing your deal, the better the pricing, because we don't have to commit the money as long and we're not as exposed as, for example, on a 120-day rate hold where things could change unfavorably for the firm, and then all of a sudden you're getting a better rate as a result. We have to protect ourselves a bit. The assets under management is 5 options, so that's going to be 0, 1 to 100,000, 101 to 250, 250 to 500,000, and then 500 plus. And each one of those thresholds is going to be about 2 basis points on average, and that's just going to mean further discounts if you've established a deeper relationship with us. We obviously want to price our best clients as well as we can. Okay, and then whether it's insured or not, insured is going to mean if there's less than 20% down, so that could be 5, 10, or even 15% down payment, you're going to incur a default insurance premium that'll come from, for example, Canada Guarantee, where that could represent anywhere from $8,000 to $15,000 depending on the size of the house that you buy. And that's a flat percentage based on the mortgage amount that you borrow. In case of a default, we, the lender, Canada Life, know that the default insurer is covering our interest, our interest in the property, that's to say, and we'll have our full amount absolved of any type of negative occurrence. We get all our money back. If you have 20%, that's going to be what's called conventional, and in those cases, we are going to price you a little bit higher, and the reason being that with a conventional mortgage, you're going to find that we have to buy that default insurance ourselves as a lender. So you're thinking you've got a bigger equity component, you're less risky. Not necessarily, because you could still lose your job. There are things that can still affect you adversely, and as a consequence, instead of paying the $8,000 to $11,000, Canada Life might pay anywhere from $500 to $1,000, and that's going to be on a deal-per-deal basis, which affects the pricing. We do transfer that back to the client in a roundabout way. Okay, and then on the far right-hand side, you're going to see the discretion that's been applied. What I want to show you there is simply that I'll apply my discretion in all cases. I get that it's a competitive environment and I like to be as transparent as possible. One day that may get retracted where we'll have budgets of discretion, but for now, I'm happy to provide that if it makes the deal go smoothly. And finally, these are internal use only calculators. So the idea here, and you'll see just in the disclaimer, that we can lock the rates for 120 days. So these are really for me to communicate with you, the advisor. These are things that you can definitely show your clients, but we don't want them necessarily taking that with them for competitive intelligence. We want to keep these in-house if possible. Okay, and from there, you can definitely give me a call. We can do most of this over the phone, as you can imagine. If clients know their credit scores are really good, they understand when they'd like to close, if they have a renewal date, for example, on a refinance. Those are things that help us really pinpoint what kind of pricing we want to offer them. Okay, thanks again. Talk to you soon.